Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special team in store for you today, but before we begin, I do want to give a huge shout out to my good friend and clanmate Kami's Heart House. Kami, thank you so much for letting me showcase your account and showcasing this awesome tee that you made, so let's get right into it. Alright, before we get into the composition, I do want to warn you guys, even though that the gear required is very minimal and very easy, the champions required is a bit hard to get, so that is just a warning for you guys. So this is arguably one of the best compositions in the game, and it is a 10-second speed composition, and it's very consistent. The only non-consistent factor would be the 3% chance of Tumesia or any champion that has a debuff in the game. There's always the 3% chance of it not landing, so that applies to Tumesia as well for the HP burn and stun. So onto the composition, the team consists of Tumesia, 2 Sisias, and 2 Cold Arts. So starting with the Tumesia, for the stats, all you really need to be concerned about is the speed and the accuracy. This is a bit overkill on the accuracy, but the higher the better technically, but there is a threshold where it just falls off, right? So ideally you want to be at least 235 accuracy so you can make sure to land those debuffs consistently. And again, 234 speed. I don't know if there's much wiggle room at all between this composition, but maybe a little bit. But as far as I know, I'm just going to go based off of the speed that he had provided here. So 234 speed for the Tumesia. So over to the masteries, I don't think you have to worry about the masteries too much. I think he does have it done for the Evil Eye just in case if things go south. Right, let's say you just like the worst case of scenarios happens and you just want to make sure the run gets completed at the very least. And I mean the Master Hexer is decent as well for the extra extends, and the Sniper as well for the A1 I suppose. And he does have it fully booked out as well. Yeah, fully booked out, but the only thing you really need to worry about is this right here. You want to make sure the books at least land into the 15% mark from the bottom so that this becomes a 100% chance to land. And for these right here, you don't really need to worry about at all. So that's pretty much the only thing you got to worry about. And over to the Sisias, you don't have to worry about gearing them too much at all. I think he just took off enough so he can match the speed here. But basically, the first Sisia here you're going to be using at 227 speed. And the accuracy you don't care about at all. The resistance you don't care about any of this. Just the speed, and that's all that matters. Just the speed. You could even use her at 5 stars. The 6 stars is not necessary at all. And for the books here, you don't have to worry about this at all. You don't need any of the Sisias booked. You don't need any of the Sisias masteried. All you need her to do is just show up with the right speed, and that's it. So 227 speed. And to the second Sisia, same thing. You practically gearless right here. You don't care about the accuracy. And all you gotta worry about is the speed. And she's gonna be at 189 speed for the second Sisia. And again, no books, no masteries, no problem. Alright, so on to the 2 Cold Arts. So the 2 Cold Arts is what matters. These are the 2 that you actually do want geared to some degree, but they're really easy to gear. As you guys know, most Cold Arts you just need to match a 70% crit rate because her Heart Seeker gives her additional 30% chance to land, and that's pretty much it, right? So you want to make sure you're at a decent amount of crit damage, especially if you're not wearing Savage gear on the Cold Art. So ideally you want to be at 276% or 279%. I think that's the max damage you need to consistently get that max damage on the Spider 25, which is 773,531 damage. So that will be consistent if this is a little higher. So the accuracy is important. Again, you want to be at least 235 accuracy to land consistently. And for the HP and defense, you don't really care much at all. So you want to make sure you're at least 70% crit rate and a really high or decent amount of crit damage so you can consistently land that max damage. And of course she's fully booked. And over to the masteries. So there's a lot of ways you can actually go about this. You don't have to go Helm Smasher for stages 21 to 25, because when you get to the boss fight, the Flawless Execution or the War Master would be more relevant, because the Helm Smasher, there is a 10% damage cap on the bosses, especially Spider, so you won't get any additional damage from the Helm Smasher here. And onto the second Cold Art here. Pretty much a similar build. Yeah, I would definitely get more crit damage here to land it more consistently, and the speed is going to be at 198. So what we have going here is we have Cold Art going the fastest at 235 speed, which is this one, and then we have the Tumesia going at 234 speed as second fastest, and third is going to be Sisia at 227 speed, Cold Art at 198 speed, and Sisia at 189 speed. So that is a team order. So let's go to the setup. Alright, so here's the team composition. And for the presets, we have Tumesia prioritizing the A2 for the AoE HP burn and stun, 100% to land. And for the Sissias, we have the prioritizing on the A2, which is the HP burn explosion. And onto the Colars here, we have prioritizing the Heartseekers. And the A1 and A2 doesn't matter because it usually just ends in one go. So that's pretty much how it is here. And over to, so I do want to mention that this team is very consistent, and Kami says it's never failed him once, not once. He's done a ton of runs during particularly CVC and whatnot, so he let me know that it's 100% successful. And I do want to mention that sometimes a run can go a bit slower than advertiser was shown, because there's always a 3% chance of a debuff getting resisted in the game. That's just how it is. Unless you're running a champ that says this cannot be resisted, it's the team runs, it's not going to be the most consistent time. But for the most part, I did run this earlier quite a bit just to see for myself, and I was shocked because it was a 10-second speed composition pretty consistently. But sometimes I'm recording right now, and sometimes because of that, it does make the run a little bit slower, so it might be 12 seconds, but I'm hoping it's still 10 seconds here. So let's see what happens. All right, let's get into it. But we do want to make sure all the HP burn lands in order for it to be a 10-second run for sure. Okay, we start with that. You want to make sure all the HP burn lands here, and it did. So it should be a 10-second run. Yeah, there it is. So 10-second run. That is pretty much the composition here. And we'll run it again just to show you. So like I said, sometimes if it does not land that 1 HP burn by 3% chance of missing, it'll be a slower run. Okay, we got it to land again. So this should be a 10-second run as well. Oh, it's a little bit slower this time. Yeah, a little bit slower. That's very unfortunate. I think we missed on one of the HP burns actually. We might have missed on one of the HP burns. Yeah, that pretty much happens there. So let's run it back one more time. I think, I'll have to go back and check, but I think it did miss on one. Okay, we didn't get max cold art damage there. That's why I said we gotta make sure we get the maximum critical damage for that cold art, right? And this should be 10 seconds. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So there you have it, guys. A very, very insane composition. This is arguably the best consistent spider team in the game right now. I don't have a Temesia myself, but I would love to get one. But this is pretty cool, and I wanted to show you guys. So thank you so much once again, Kami, for letting me use your account to showcase this. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do enjoy my content in general, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video.